Everyone, I am back. My name is Carissa and I am a hair and beauty artist. I do hair at a salon in Connecticut, and I also do a lot of bridal, proms, updos, and a lot of weddings, obviously. I also am a Younique representative. I sell Younique products, and if you haven't heard of them before, I will link my website down below. And you can check them out. This video today is going to be all about my foundation routine, the products that I use every single day, and they are tried and true. I have gone through many products before, and it's really nice to find something that really delivers what it says it's going to, is, you know, cruelty-free and is not harsh on your skin, has a lot of natural ingredients. And it's very hard to find those things all in one product, and I absolutely love them. I hope you do too if you ever try them out. They are just amazing products overall. So today's video is going to be an in-depth tutorial on the steps that I take to achieve a flawless finish, as well as the steps that I take to make sure that that flawless finish lasts me all day long. Sometimes you might see that your foundation will break up throughout the day, and I'll show you steps to avoid that, and also steps to make your blending a lot easier for you and a lot more successful. So if you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. I would love to help you out. And other than that, I'm going to go through the products that I use every single day to create a flawless finish that will really last me throughout the day. I will come home and feel like my makeup looks very similar to the way that I left with it that day, and that's very important for most people. They don't want their makeup breaking up throughout the day. So again, any questions, just let me know. These are the products that I choose to use. You might try other products and see that they might work well for you. However, I would just recommend that each one of these types of products that you somehow incorporate it into your makeup collection, because it really will change the way that your makeup stays on throughout the day. Anyway, any questions, just let me know. Hey, so let's get started. First step that I take every single day, after I put on obviously I have cleansed skin, and I have all of my moisturizer, toner, all that good stuff. I have all of that already on my skin. So first off, I always start with a primer. This is the Glorious Primer. It is by Younique. I love this primer because it doesn't feel sticky or very heavy, and it preps my skin for my foundation. It fills in any fine lines, any enlarged pores, anything like that, and really gives my skin something for my foundation to really adhere to and to stay. It also helps it to create a more true color so that the foundation isn't oxidizing throughout the day when that turns kind of orangey. That's what I mean by oxidizing. And it really just helps to make sure that my skin is prepped and clean and ready to go. So I just take a pump of this and I put it on the back of my hand. Like probably half a pump, actually, if I'm going to be honest with you. Then I use my clean hands. Make sure your hands or any tools that you ever use are completely clean. That's really important. I wash my brushes about once a week, and any client brushes I wash in between in between applying the foundations or any other products that I use onto the client. You just want to make sure they're clean. Transferring germs, any dirt can clog pores and create problem areas for you. So my hands are clean, and I'm going to be warming this up on the back of my hand and then pressing this all into my skin. Now this really helps to make sure that any of the dryness on my under eye area, which I am currently battling because it is winter here in Connecticut, helps to make sure that that isn't an area where my foundation will really clump up or anything like that. It creates this smooth base for everything to stick to. So I'm just going to press that into the skin. I prefer to press all of the products into my skin versus doing swiping motions, because that makes sure everything is completely even and you're making sure to get every single spot of your skin. If you start swiping products around, it really helps. It really creates unevenness. It can move the product around too much, and that's really not what you're looking for. You're really looking to create a flawless finish. I just make sure to press this into all areas of my face, and like I said, it really helps to make sure that the fine lines, any enlarged pores, any dryness, everything is covered, and my foundation will go on as smooth as possible and stay on for as long as possible. This bottle I just started a new one and I use them on clients as well. It has lasted me well over a year. I mean, half a pump, and look how much is in here. The new bottle's a little bit differently. However, I believe there's the same amount of product in there. At some point they had a problem with this pump. However, I've never had a problem with it, which is really nice. But yeah, so just to let you know how long the product will really last for. Then I'm going to take Velour today, and this is the Mineral Touch Liquid Foundation, the Unique Foundation as well, and this is in Velour. So currently I'm using Velour because of the fact that I have not self-tanned at all. So I am feeling pretty white and pasty, but I'm embracing it. And yeah, you just want to put a little bit on the back of your hand. I did shake this up previously, so you just want to make sure you're shaking this because it does separate a little bit in the bottle. There aren't a lot of preservatives or anything like that to make sure that the product stays together. So you just want to make sure to make this as fluid and consistent as possible, if that makes any sense. So I'm warming it up on the back of my hand again, and then I have just been kind of placing this onto my skin. My skin has been pretty nice lately, so if you wanted a more full coverage, you can use more product and really build that. However, I'm kind of embracing letting some of my skin show through. And if you're kind of like me and you just want some help in creating more even tone and a flawless finish, you can do this. And then if you need to add more, you can add more. I am taking a beauty blender. It is damp. If you don't have one of these, I think Real Techniques makes a really good one, as well as the Beauty Blender original brand of this. And it's just really nice. It helps to make sure that you aren't putting on excess product. If you wanted a heavier finish, you can use a foundation brush, and that works really nice too. So for nights out, I usually do this, but for a daytime look, I'm gonna take my Beauty Blender. If you're heavy-handed with your makeup and you just know that about yourself, like you can't really control yourself, some people are like that, I definitely used to be, then this is going to save your life for sure. So you're just going to work all of this into the skin, and just make sure you're working it into the hairline, everywhere. And again, as you can tell, I am pressing the product into the skin. And I definitely want to work that into my neck area and everything. So once you're happy with the amount of coverage that you have there, you can move on to the next step. And most of the time for daytime makeup, I usually avoid my under eye area because I know I'm going to go in with a concealer. So my concealer, I actually chose a shade lighter than my skin so I can conceal and highlight in the same step, which for me is really important since my under eye area can get very dry. I don't want to compile and, you know, put on too much product in that area. So it's really important for me to try to keep that as light as possible while still getting the coverage that I want. So I'm just taking a little bit on the back of my hand again, and I am going to take my finger. I like to use my hands and my fingers just as much as possible because it's really like God gave you those tools, so it's really nice to use them. So I'm just going to create a triangle section right there. Same thing on the other eye. And then this concealer is really, really nice, as it is full coverage, but it doesn't get super cakey or anything like that. And then I am going to conceal my eyelids just because I can get some darkness there and I want to look as bright and awake as possible. So same thing. And then I'm going to take the pointed tip. And I'm going to work this concealer completely in. And again, tapping motions. If you start swiping, you're going to take the product and you're going to move it off of the area that you just placed it. So it kind of defeats the purpose. Same thing here. I am going to conceal my eyelids and I'm just going to press. Moving on to the other side. The same thing. Anything extra, I will conceal around my nose. I do get a little bit of redness there, and then just bring it up the bridge of my nose. Now it's important, this step is probably, again, just as important as any of the other ones. I really wouldn't recommend skipping any of these steps unless you wanted a really light makeup look and you're not really concerned about it lasting all day. But this, I do always set my under eye makeup, and this is a concealer. It's considered a mineral concealer, but it almost has a yellowish tint to it, which is really nice because it helps to create that brightness and highlight underneath your eye area. So I'm going to take it on the back of here with a pointed angle brush, and I'm just going to place it right here. And then I'm also going to do the top of my eyelids, and that will stop it from creasing or anything like that throughout the day. So if you wanted to, you could leave it like this, which today I am going to be. But on a normal day where I would wear eyeshadow and that kind of thing, I can go ahead and put a shadow right on top of there and have no problem blending that out and no worries of creasing throughout the day. All right, so when I'm finished with that, I am going to set the rest of my face with another powder. This one's a little bit darker, so I am kind of using this as a contour shade right now. And this is the Mineral Touch pressed powder. And it is in the color Cashmere, which is a little bit dark for me right now. But since I'm using it really on the outskirts of my face and around the edges, it kind of helps with my contour anyway. So I'm just going to be placing that here. And again, you kind of want to press and then you can move the product around a little bit. But when you first do it, you really want to just press. And then same thing on the outskirts of my face. And then I really like to kind of take it and swoop it here so it blends everything. And it makes my highlight not look as intense or in your face. I just try to go for a natural look for most days. I am going to be taking a Hoola bronzer. It's by Benefit, and I love this bronzer. It has a very natural tone. It's not too warm and not too cool, so it looks great on most skin tones. And it comes with a little brush, which is awesome because you can kind of dip it in here and use this brush to really nicely and faintly contour. You can probably get a very intense contour if you'd like, but for the most part, I like to keep it as natural as possible, like I was saying. Again, I'm going to want to take it and swoop up and push up with it. I'm not going to want to bring it down because then that defeats the purpose, and I want to create a faux cheekbone. Like, my cheekbones are very prominent. So it creates more of that look, if you can see that right there. Same thing right here. And then I just do the bridge of my nose. I do very, very light amount of that. And then I will go in with the Younique bronzer. The Younique bronzer has a matte side and a shimmer side. So I really like the way that it looks. I use the shade Malibu, and I do take an angled brush and I just dip in here, get off the excess. And this helps to create not only a nice bronze look, but it also creates a glow, which everyone really looks for, and it keeps the skin looking alive. If you use too many matte products, your skin can start looking super cakey, very dull. And for winter months, I just feel like it's best to have some shimmer in your product. Your base can be completely matte. Everything else I've used so far has been matte, but then when it comes to this bronzer, I really like it. It acts as like a nice glowy highlight. And then this blush that I'm going to pair it with is Coralina. It's a baked powder blush, and it's from Milani. And again, this has a little bit of shimmer in it. I sometimes like to use highlighters, but on a day that I'm in a little bit of a hurry, I will use this blush and this bronzer combo, and it creates a pretty sheen on the skin, so it makes it look alive again. So again, I'm just going to place this on the apples of the cheeks and then bring it up and back. I feel like that's a very nice way to blend your contour in with your highlight, and it makes everything look nice and cohesive. So once I'm finished with that, I will set my foundation and everything with a makeup setting spray. This will help to make sure that the look doesn't look super powdery and will make the skin look like skin again, and will also make sure that the product stays on all day long. Sometimes when I skip this step, I will notice it throughout the day and be like, oh man, I forgot to just set it. I know what I did wrong. This just makes sure that everything stays nice and put. So I'm gonna do that for you now. A lot of companies make a lot of different setting sprays, so it's just your preference and your skin type. MAC makes a really nice one for really dry skin. This one's a beauty bridal makeup setting spray by Skindinavia. I absolutely love this one. I think it was about $30 for this whole bottle, and honestly, I've had this bottle and used it on client after client and bride after bride for almost a year now. So $30 is a small investment for how long this can last, and they do sell smaller ones as well. So as you can see, this is the finished look. I did put on a little bit mascara before, however, I'm going to retouch that now because the powder has touched my face. And I did fill in my brows with just a little bit of this Precision Brow Gel, which I love using on a day where I don't want to do a heavy brow or a heavy makeup face. So that is pretty much the end of the tutorial. If you have any questions, let me know. The products that I've used today are all available for sale on my site, which I will link below. However, if you know of any other products that you really like, I would love to try them out. And yeah, just let me know. Thank you again for watching so much. It was my pleasure being with you today. Have a great day.